DeAnna, and I'm here with a process video using the August hip kits. And right now what you see is I'm tacking down a cut file from Ashley Horton called Backgrounds. And it's actually one that was free for the August kits. So I believe if you don't have to be subscribed to get this cut file. I think you just need to have like a sign on or a profile on the Hip Kits website. So there's always some free cut files each month and they're really nice. So this layout I did a lot of playing around with. I did not have a plan. I decided right off the bat that I wanted to use this cut file because I had cut it last weekend and then it didn't work for the layout that I wanted to use it for, but I kept it. I held on to it and I didn't want to throw it away. So I decided last night that I was going to do something with it. And so I did this layout. And I used this pink paper, but eventually it does not stay on as a mat for that photo. But I don't figure that out for a while yet. And I love that in this kit, there were a few pieces of paper that had like pops of black. And I love it. Like just having even just a tiny pop of black is so nice. So I decided I wanted to do some of these corners. And that's what I'm cutting now. I'm just trying to get a couple of them cut from that scrap of paper that I had left. And I fiddle with this quite a bit. So I thought I wanted to have it on, either side, top and bottom. And then I had used a little bit of that black for a photo mat and I did not like that, so I removed that already. And eventually I'm going to play around a lot with those corners here. I think I'm going to do it now. Or not. You could see me tapping my fingers because I feel a little lost at this point. And then I went off camera quite a few times during this layout because I kept changing my mind. So here's one of those times where I decided that the plus sign paper by Dear Lizzie was just too much to have it as a full background. And so I just felt like it was way too busy, but I really like that cut file on the plus sign paper because it just provides texture and you can still tell that it's, that there's plus signs on the paper and plus signs on the cut file. So, and I liked that touch of blue with that's also another Dear Lizzie, that's Amy Tan, the Oh Happy Life collection. And here's where I'm playing with those corners, and I think I do that quite a bit, and I don't know how much of it's on camera and off camera, but I wanted to use some of these die cuts from the Amy Tan Oh Happy Life collection. And so I was just trying to decide which ones worked. And right away, I realized those acetates did not work on here. It was a little too bright red and blue. But those flowers work nicely because the pink sort of matches, it's like the same type of tone that's in the pink that's in the plus sign paper. But besides that, the greens and the leaves work really nice. And so I liked that idea because then this All Smiles die cut has several different colors in it, and so I can just start to incorporate those into the rest of the layout. And they basically match what's in the plus sign paper anyways. Now this is just one of those little strips at that bottom, what do you call them? Branding strips. And I'm going to use that just as another layer up there. And I am using glue to tack these down because I know that I'm going to sew. And I've learned that if you can use like a wet glue and just use a little bit just to tack it down, it's so much better on your needle than using like a tape runner, especially ATG. If I ever use ATG after sewing or before sewing on a layout, I have to use, I just use alcohol wipes. I bought like a box of alcohol wipes that I have in my scrap space now so that I can just clean my needle off after I'm done. And that seems to work really well, but I don't know what's gunking up inside the machine. So I try not to. If I know ahead of time that I'm going to be sewing, I will use wet glue. And so here I'm just using some of the foam. I don't know, I used it on practically every layout and I can never remember what it's called at the moment. Fun foam. So I used some fun foam to pop up the photo, and see, I still have that pink paper there as a photo mat, and I don't like the way it's clashing with that strip of like almost peachy pink from the banner strip, so, or the branding strip. And so that's what makes me decide to change it out. And I am oh my gosh, it is really early for narration, I think. I am popping up the flowers there, and I like the way I ended up with those black triangles instead of doing them in the corners. It was too much. Like, I needed some breathing space, so that I thought that was better. And I'm just trying to see, that's my little container of all of the pieces that I'm working with this month. Most of it came in the kit, or I also have some pieces that I cut on my silhouette in there that I'm just kind of hanging on to and trying to use since I did cut them. And I do a lot of fiddling with, like, what do I want to use? What can I use in the clusters? I look at this Amy Tan book quite a bit, but I don't end up using anything out of there. There are a couple of pieces that I use from the exclusive die cuts, which was designed by Claudia, and I don't know how to say her last name, so I'm not even going to try. But she has a YouTube channel, and she does designs a lot of products that she sells. But she designed these ones here, and the ones that I use are the little scallop piece that I just put under my photo, and the little circle that I'm playing with over there by the heart. And I'm still looking at this book with the stickers from Amy Tan, and just trying to look at all the different things that came in the kit and what would work on this layout. And these stickers, they're clear stickers. I love them. I've used a whole bunch of them, and you get 2 sheets of each, so, you know, of course it feels okay to use one if you still have one left to hoard. I know that sounds terrible, but it's so true, right? I'm not the only one that thinks that way. And I saw a video by Arit where she used these stickers, and she used the numbers just as kind of like a little touch of black or an accent on the page, and I loved that. So I knew I wanted to do that on this page, because I don't plan on doing any splatters or anything like that, and I always like to add that kind of contrast with the black touches, and so I knew that I wasn't going to do that. So where I could add that, I wanted to add that. And that's where I end up using several of those stickers on this page. And so there's where I put them on there, and there's where I changed that photo mat, which I'm so happy I did that. I just used the back side of that plus sign paper. It has kind of a geometric looking pattern to it. So, and here I'm using some of these chipboard thickers by Dear Lizzie, and there's a whole bunch of little plus signs, and I'm going to take several of them and put them on top of the solid plus signs on the die cut, or the cut file. And there were still a few plus signs left, so I end up using them in another area on the layout. And I'm still fiddling with that heart and that circle. I know that I want to use it because it brings that pink down to the bottom of the page, but I just need to figure out placement and what else I'm going to layer with it. All right, so I do decide that I'm going to put some tape on this heart and start to try and commit, but I don't, even where I place that now, it doesn't end up going there, but that's okay, because sometimes when I'm doing my layouts, I feel like I need to just start sticking things down, because otherwise I will fiddle and play forever. And I do that a little bit with these hearts too. I'm like, does the yellow look good on the pink? Does it look good on the black? Where does it look good? So I fiddle a lot. And I love these chipboard thickers because there are titles in there for me, which I like because I don't know. I like the look of a title, but I don't necessarily need to have like a fancy, you know, awesome saying or whatever for a title. I just want to have a title. So it's nice when I have these packs of thickers where they're already, you know, the title's already made up for me. So I was showing you there that I put the title down, and where the heart is now is where it's going to stay. And I also did my journaling. And basically all I did was talk about the fact that like this is a morning photo, a little selfie of me before I leave for work. And I love it because when I wake up, outside of like my shower and getting ready for work and all that kind of stuff, I am in my scrap space and I am looking at what the new videos are that came out. And I'm, sometimes I'm just cleaning my desk and getting ready, for when I get home for something to do, or, working on a layout that I'm working on, and I just do little touches or just kind of play around with, my scrap stuff. So it always puts me in a really good mood. And so that's just what I talked about in the journaling. And I'm going to add some enamel dots here just to connect some of the different clusters and add a little pop of color. And I did add a couple more of those clear stickers from the Dear Lizzie pack. One on top of that heart and one right behind that flower. Which I know you can't read that full, Life Is Now sticker, but I think that's okay. It's mostly just for the contrast up there, but I do end up moving it up just a tiny bit, but I still think you can't see it, exactly, but I'm okay with that. And then I add this arrow up there and another heart, and mostly that was because I felt like the plus signs, there was like a gap between the plus signs and those black triangles, so that just kind of helps connect them. And here's where I move this up, but really it was almost pointless because you still can't read it. But I don't know, I love the way this layout turned out, so I'm super happy with it. But there are some still shots here coming up, and I just want to say thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time. Have a great scrappy weekend.